Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NuWhoZone's NuWhoZone. We're here for Hellbent. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, not a huge fan of this, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, this will be the last NuWhoZone though until August. We're gonna wait until August to do Series 10. Me thinking is like over 10 weeks, so we get closer to the 60th. Anniversary. We may revisit some old episodes as well of RTD's era. Sorry, we got a thunderstorm in the background, so if you hear any rumbling noise tonight, that's exactly what it is. So let's bring on our panel who are joining us as usual. We got the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody. This episode.
And we got PD Rich.
Hey,
Hey. Yeah, so we're here for this awful story. So I'm going to get this story down, and Charlotte's going to take the dog in because with the thunder he'll get. Go, Manny.
He doesn't trust me.
Oh, no, he doesn't because he thinks you're going to.
Hello, TARDIS Time. Thank you for joining us.
hey, TARDIS Time.
Yeah, so Ted's a bit suspicious because Cheryl's been trying to cut his nails, and he doesn't like that, and he tried to bite her and stuff because he's a little weirdo. Anyway, we're here for hell crap.
Not that bad. It's only the ending.
No, there's stuff before the ending, but we'll get to that.
It's when I get to the Gallifreyan chamber, that is it.
Anyway, we got JWC reviews in the chat who says it's not that bad. I disagree, but we could be wrong by the end of this watch along. So if everybody in the chat is ready, please do us a favor and press 1 so we can get this done and over with. Seriously, because I actually really do hate this story. But,
hey, Chris Berger.
But we'll give it a go. So if you're ready in the chat, you know what to do. You press a number 1 and not a number 2. I tried to do a little rhyme there.
Yeah.
Like that. That was impressive. Congratulate me. What is that? Jesus Christ, slow crowd here tonight. Slow crowd! Anyway, we're here to watch Hellbent. Obviously, it's the second or the third part, wherever which way you want to look at it. A trilogy or whether you think of it as a two-parter. And this is the second half of Hellbent. So at the end of Heaven's Sent, Heaven's Sent. At the end of Heaven's Sent, we saw, obviously, the Doctor had made his way through all the crystal. And obviously, we found out it was the confession dial, and he was on Gallifrey. And now this is the conclusion of this story. So what we're going to do is, before we get knocked out with internet because of this thunder and lightning, I would suggest that Queen Charlotte do the countdown without further ado.
Yep. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Previously on Doctor Who.
Now we have our recap. Yep.
Oh, Jesus, this is an hour.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was like that when I saw the runtime.
Fucking hell.
It's almost a special, this one.
Basically, it's the
I would have
length of
started
one.
at 6:30, man. Fuck that shit in an hour, man. Sorry, but I can't tolerate Doctor Who more than 45 minutes nowadays.
How'd you get through the specials at Christmas?
I was going to say, I
Oh,
don't
they
mind
aren't
if
there
it's-
anymore.
I can watch more than 45 if it's good, very happily. But when it's bad, it's torture. I'm like
That's what I
you in
mean.
that
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, that's why we're not doing the Husbands of River Song and
Oh.
Dr. Mysterio, because I done them over the Christmas period as part of the
Yeah.
special watch-alongs. So that's why we'll go straight into Series 10. But there was no way. I can't stand those two stories. I hate them with a passion.
They're not bad. They're not brilliant,
I'm
though.
going to say, I don't mind Mysterio because it's a bit of fluff for me.
Yeah.
Husbands has got more issues. I struggle for that one.
Yeah, the ending's good, though. Husbands. Brilliant ending. Brilliant music.
Yeah, the ending is great, right? But we got to judge
Get
on
into
the
the
whole
ending.
episode, right?
I
And the
know.
episode is shite. Just
Well,
like
this
Dr.
one's the
opposite.
Mysterio.
This has a great story.
Superheroes, right, and Doctor Who have no business of being in the same genre, right? It was just Moffat, as
It's
usual,
Stephen Moffat running out of
homage
ideas.
playing homage to all of these fucking superheroes. We don't care. And RTD better not do it, because just to let you know, superhero thing is stagnated now. Nobody likes super fucking heroes anymore. Anyway, that Thunder and Lightning is
Boring.
really... Now, I might cut out, I'm not saying I will, but you do know when we have weird weather, especially Thunder
Yeah, it
and
can
Lightning,
affect you.
it can affect the internet. So just giving you a warning, just in case I do end
Oh,
up
I loved when it
disappearing
plays this
like
bit
the
of music.
last time. But if I do disappear, right, and I can't get back on, what you do is just carry on until it's over,
We
right?
say goodnight.
Give you our opinions, and then give your rating, and then both of you leave, and that will stop the stream.
Yeah, I'll stop 5 minutes after. So just be blank for 5 minutes, yeah.
And then what I'll do then is then, like I did the last time, I'll edit out the fucking 5 minute.
You'll
Like I
key
had
off
to
the
do
Gary's channel.
for poor Queen Charlotte when she was here on her own.
And it was also not good because the chat had stopped working. So I couldn't
Yeah,
riff
I
off
couldn't
the
even
chat.
get in touch with you because the internet was completely gone. I couldn't even send you a message to say that I had problems. Because I don't have I don't buy the internet from my phone.
No.
Or I don't get the internet from my phone at all. I just get the calls and the texts.
So now we're back in this diner.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
I do love the image though of Capaldi with his guitar. I do love that image.
Nah,
just
it is
suits it.
iconic, but it's still written by Stephen Moffat.
Finally, a Gallifrey episode.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
We finally get that Gallifrey episode we've been waiting for 5 years.
But again,
The
this was
Gallifrey,
directed by Rachel who's
directed
actually
it,
yeah.
Brilliant director.
you can tell, like I said, there's little bits that are good in this, but the overall thing is horrible. Like that's how I would summarize this episode.
Yeah, it was stupid. He finally gets on to Gallifrey after all, and it just seems like there should have been more going on than there was.
Bloody fireworks. It's like the end of Star Trek Voyager, isn't it? There should have been so much more happening.
Well, no,
Nothing
but it's not
happened.
just that. It's the treatment of certain characters in Gallifrey that also gets my goat. It's like really important characters are just treated like
did you hear
window
that one?
dressing. Oh yeah,
No.
Woohoo!
I did.
Holy shit! Cheryl is loving it. Because Cheryl gets this in America all the time. We don't get that kind of weather in Ireland that often, but when it happens, that is just amazing. I love it. I used to love it as a kid.
It's old man Rassilon. It's not the good Rassilon this time. It's a terrible Rassilon.
Oh, right. This is going to be my first rant. What on earth were they doing with Rassilon in this story?
I know.
He is portrayed as a weak, foolish man. Like, that's how he's written. He's got no power, nobody listens to him, and he's just seen as an absolute joke.
I think everyone's just pissed off with him now. Right now,
This is
he's a
Rassilon.
politician. Yeah,
This is Rassilon. Like,
he
shouldn't
might
be
have
written
used
like
up
this.
his power in the Christmas special though.
Still,
So I
he's still
rationalised
got
it.
the glove. He's still
Yeah.
got
So it doesn't
the
work now.
history.
It's pretty broken.
But I know what you mean. Like, maybe
I know.
in universe, but it's where he's written, PD. He's
Yeah.
not written clever. He's not written as this
Yeah.
imposing figure.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because they've got a brilliant actor who could have done
Yeah.
it really well.
You've got to remember they've been cut off from the vortex, though, haven't they? From the quite a few things.
I think they could have. I think he should have come back. Honestly, the actor, what's his name?
Timothy Dalton. Yeah.
They should have got him back.
I know. But I think what it is Rassilon's due to regeneration. He's got infinite, so he's fine. It's like he's almost timeless, if you know what I mean.
Anytime I like that. This is Diet Rassilon. This is not the Rassilon. I refuse to see this character as Rassilon.
Why didn't they get bleeding Timothy Dalton back and write
That's what I was saying.
Budget for last episodes.
Like, think about how he was in that special with Tennant. He was on screen and you knew about it. It was like, oh God, Rassilon's here and he's going to mess things up.
Yeah. Maybe they should put him back in the Forbidden Zone a little while ago, but couldn't be bothered.
And it's like, I'm sorry, Moffat, probably because of budget as well. Why have we got this bleeding barn again? Like, it's the most boring set you could have picked to reuse.
I didn't think he had the budget to do Longbarrow House, that's why.
In fairness, though, this is impressive. Big, huge gun right in front of him.
I'll say this. Peter's acting is brilliant. He's not said a single word. That's what impresses me.
That's what I love about him in this episode.
He's not spoken any dialogue, and you get that anger, you get that grief, you get that annoyance out of him. You get the sort of you can tell he's not comfortable with the reaction that the Shabog. I can never say it. What are they, PD?
What's that?
The non-Time Lord people. I'm guessing that's what these people are.
I don't think they're Shabogans.
Do you know? I always thought they were.
No, Shabogans are ancients.
So how come these... That's the other thing then. Why are they written and dressed like non-Time Lords?
Society. It's a massively classist society, the Time Lords. It's like an a-hole version of Starfleet.
It's just no. So many no's, Moffat.
And again, it's Moffat's interpretation of the Time Lords.
I thought they were Shabogans. I'm sure somebody said that to do with the show, that these were Shabogans.
They might be.
Or like their ancestors might have been Shabogans, and these are like the current
descendants. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost like probably Time Lord society, like 2 or 3 societies living together and trying to get on.
Because I don't mind this as a show of the Doctor's power. This I don't mind, because this makes sense. Basically, if you put a load of soldiers in front of him, they're going to side with him because of the Time War.
I do love his costume in this one. Yeah.
Your woman is deadly in this stuff. I like her. She just keeps coming into him. And...
Yeah.
Oh, is this sort of calm woman?
No. The old one that keeps coming into the barn.
Old, yeah. Her face when she keeps coming in, it's like, they're here again.
From the orphanage, yeah.
Like I said, and I get this. This does work. But then, once again, it works until Rassilon comes on the scene
Yeah.
because he's just
Oh, I know what it's based on. Remember, Barry Letts was really into Indian culture. It's based on a caste system, isn't
yeah,
it?
caste. That makes
It's
sense.
caste system. Just remember, it was Barry Letts, wasn't it? Kind of really, really brought the Time Lords in. They're like cross between it's kind of like Indian caste system cross between the British kind of class system.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I refuse to believe Rassilon would come and allow the Doctor to make him look this stupid.
Yeah.
In front of his own peers.
Yeah. They might be Shobogans. I'm just not sure what they're called. Because I thought Shobogans were like their version of like the Amish.
I just thought there was. I've always had in my head. I could be very wrong here. That Shobogans were basically Time Lords who didn't have the regeneration power.
Oh, I see. No.
That's what I had in mind. Basically, they were from Gallifrey, but they didn't have the regeneration, so they weren't technically Time Lords. They were Shobogans. That's how I've always.
Gallifreyans. I just call them Gallifreyans, to tell you the truth.
No, but I'm sorry. Rassilon would not come here. Would not know that his soldiers were going to do what they do.
Yeah.
He wouldn't. He just wouldn't.
He would be dragging the Doctor to the Time Lord.
Yeah, he wouldn't come
Citadel.
from his place of power, where he's comfortable, and meet the Doctor. He not from classic anyway.
Yeah. Then again, he could be suffering dementia, Time Lord version of dementia.
Yeah, and TARDIS time. Yeah, he would not just be. He would not just if the Doctor told him to get off the planet. Proper Rassilon would be like, no.
It'd be a hologram.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'd be tricky. He'd
be...
play the Doctor in his own game.
Yeah. No. You don't know how long they've been in the void for, though.
Then don't say it's Rassilon. There's your easy fix.
Yeah, it should have been it should have been what you may call it, Castellan.
Yeah, have it be another Time Lord. That
should have been a Castellan.
All your issues.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a big one.
Or what you could have done is have Rassilon be in the General's place. Because then that would make sense as to why the Doctor would shoot him later on.
Yeah.
With all the stuff he's done to the Doctor probably would happily shoot.
Yeah.
Without any remorse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Stephen Moffat's interpretation of Time Lord society, isn't it, this episode?
Yeah, this is his really bad interpretation.
It's just like, you know. That's why maybe we're getting rid of them. Russell getting rid of them wasn't such a great idea.
Yeah, no, I still think to this day Russell would have done a better job.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling. I could be wrong because we
why
might
is the
be getting
barn
them
on
back.
fire? Yeah.
So
I think the reason why he left the Time Lords out in Gallifrey out was because he knew it'd be, you know, you'd have to get bogged down in all the politics, all the different aspects of the society as well. So that way, by not having him in the new era, he could say he was the last of the Time Lords. That kind of made sense. And then obviously Moffat wanted to bring Gallifrey back, but now it's opened the door now because RTD now can expand and can do.
And looks like he is from current teasers.
Oh no, the Shabu, Shabujim.
What are those?
People on the kind of the fringes of Gallifrey.
Okay.
They're technically new Shobogans.
That's what I've always had in my head. There was some sort of Shobogans.
Yeah. That's why I was getting confused. Yeah, the modern day Shobogan.
Because if they were any sort of Time Lord, they wouldn't act the way they do. There'd be reverence there, but there wouldn't be this type of almost Jesus type reaction.
Yeah. I've always seen them as the Shibujum or the modern Shibogans. Always kind of seen them more like Amish, Time Lord version of
Yeah.
Amish. They reject the kind of technology and everything.
Yeah, they're sort of like, I don't mean this to have a go, like the more simple folk, in a sense.
The ones who don't want to live in the cities, don't want to live in the citadels, they want to live on the plains.
Mm.
And then you've got the rebels.
Oh yeah, but here's the other thing that narks me about this episode. With modern day tech, we could do a gorgeous Gallifrey, and they don't do it. It's like...
It's not the Doctor, it was the thingy who commands him to get off the planet.
No,
Castellan
the Doctor did
commands him.
first.
Yeah.
And then the General said, get off his planet.
Yeah.
Like I said,
sorry. It's too busy for searching.
Because here's the thing, that makes sense because of Time War. And I always do like it in New Who when they use the Time War for context, which is what this is. But like I said, it's at the expense of a character it shouldn't be at the expense of.
Yeah.
And then once again, when we get to that scene when he shoots the General, after what he's done now, where he sided with him, he helped him, and it's just like...
Yeah, that point is when it goes to hell.
What on earth are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think Moffat does a good job in the writing sense of you get the Doctor's emotions and feelings towards Gallifrey in this episode.
Yeah.
And then by proxy with Clara.
Yeah.
But the actual, like you said, the workings of it, the actual proper look at the society is so badly done.
Yeah. It's like, but I think it's based on the Indian. I think the Shibujum was based on the Indian class system anyway.
It would have been, yeah, because he was a Buddhist, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, massive Buddhist.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Indian Buddhist, yeah. Yeah. I do love seeing the leader of the Sisterhood of Khan, though. If you watch the TARDIS
she's brilliant. I love the actress.
Yeah, she's great. If you watch the TARDIS notes, you'll know why she's there, because she's the one that set it all up on behalf of the Time Lords.
And I love how when they're like, "Why are you here?" and she's like, "I love the fireworks." Like, that's fun.
Yeah,
I like that she just likes chaos. Sometimes she likes to watch it.
She just loves seeing the Gallifreyans tearing themselves apart.
Yeah,
she hates them that badly.
She wants to just watch them humiliate each other.
But you got to realise she hates the Time Lords as much as the Doctor does.
Yeah, that's how they get on.
They both can't stand each other. Enemy of your enemy. Is that?
Yeah, and there's a bit of. I think there is legitimately a bit of like same spirit in the Doctor and the Sisterhood.
Yeah, that's why since Night of the Doctor, the Doctor's been getting on with them again.
Oh, TARDIS time, there's a lot for me. It'd be hard to pick one bit. That's the worst.
Probably that bit in the when they bring Clara back. That's the worst part for me.
I can tell you the best part by far when we get to it. I can easily tell you the best part of this.
I love this bit.
Because even it's like just New Who doesn't want to have an episode when they're at Gallifrey. I'm talking about the Chib stuff here now as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like whenever they show it, it's 2 rooms at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never go into the nitty-gritty of Gallifrey. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking of like structure here and architecture and just buildings, which are just fantastic enough in themselves you could do. Like have an episode where they're in a building and they have to run around in it a bit so you could see it. But no, it's like, here's my 2 nice rooms. That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the general thing's really, really harsh. And because it's got that line, which we all love, that comes out.
Oh, yeah. Please don't cancel me, Karl Schwab line.
So it's the other infamous line, PD, about ego.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I don't have an ego. It's not all men.
Yeah.
I try to keep mine suppressed. If I get out of hand, it gets dangerous. I think my arrogance gets out of hand sometimes. I have to bring it back in.
Hello, Luke Skywalker. I don't know if that's a new name in our chat, but hello.
Being Rabbi's chat.
I think I have seen him in other chats.
I do like the Doctor's costume in this Gallifrey adventure, though.
Yeah, when he's not got the jacket, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Looks very rock star.
Yeah, that's his whole vibe in this episode, really.
That's what I love about him. He's kind of like Johnny Depp, isn't he, in this episode?
Yeah. I have. Oh, that's an interesting question, TARDIS. Let me get it back up. Do you think it was Moffat or the BBC idea? Probably BBC.
Probably BBC, yeah, higher powers, BBC.
Moffat probably didn't even have any idea to begin with what was going to happen, and the BBC probably told him.
It's the end of the season. He didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
Always like Moffat. Loose end, no idea. Oh, we've got to finish this. Oh, I don't know.
Because I'm sorry, that dialogue that she comes out with is not Moffat dialogue.
No.
He's never
It's not even Rachel's dialogue.
He's never that on the point.
No.
That was so in your face, like anti-male. Yeah. Didn't feel like Moffat at all.
Yeah, that was so feminist.
No, Luke, the Force is not with this episode. Well, TARDIS, the Moffat sort of, as much as he can say, because obviously he wants to keep ties and being professional, he has basically said the BBC were, at this point, interfering a lot.
Yeah.
With the storylines.
Yeah, terribly.
And it was sort of, as politely as he can get away with saying in interviews, he said it was sort of doing his head in.
He was also stressed out from Sherlock as well.
Yeah. It was like part of the reason he left. You can tell he's not said that ever officially, but
I do like that Stazer though. I love the Stazer design.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but yeah, he was getting pressured. This is why Mark Gatiss turned around and said, I wouldn't drink from it. It's a poison chalice.
Yeah, that's why where Gatiss ran scared when it got talked about him being successor.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand Doctor doing this because he's got no respect for his own people. But guys, you're wasting a guy's regeneration.
I think it, for me, I can understand the Doctor threatening to do this to get what he wants.
Actually doing it, yeah.
But actually doing it is a very different matter.
Yeah. You don't use a guy's regeneration up, even if...
I was going to say, and I don't buy Clara as the excuse here. The Doctor's not got many rules, but he's got a key one, and this is breaking it massively. Yeah. And I don't think he would break
even
this
to his own
rule.
people. Yeah. This is where the episode gets crap.
Yeah.
Halfway point. Oh, friggin' let Clara die. She's a pain in the ass.
Because I'm sorry, the Doctor's also, I think he's clever enough that he could find a way to trap them and he run away with Clara. He didn't have to shoot the General.
I'd expect him to shoot the fire suppression system or something, cause all room to fill up with smoke and then run out the door.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Use misdirection. Use the gun to misdirect, yes.
Yeah.
Completely buy that.
Yeah. Pop on the ego line.
It's just, to be that barefaced
Yeah.
about it, that anti-male.
Yeah.
It's like, it's bad enough you this was your first proper showing an actual gender swap moment.
Yeah.
But you added like the extra kick almost when
You just
you're
think to
down.
yourself,
I wouldn't even mind the actress that played the
Yeah.
Lord President there. She was in Years and Years, and she's fucking
Yeah.
brilliant in it. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you are right. They use that moment to foster their
Yeah.
politicking.
Yeah,
And,
towards politics of the
if
show.
it had just occurred naturally, like it did, like with the little line, "Oh, ma'am," made a funny joke
Yes.
about it, but then they had to add the
Yeah.
other line. Whereas if they didn't add that other line, nobody'd have a problem with that scene. It was the fact that they added that line because BBC, well, what they always do, pander.
Yeah, box tickers at the BBC who shouldn't be
Coming
there.
to the BBC near you, another ticked box.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's more than that. This was showing then how it was the feminism which was bubbling during Moffat's run at this point.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
little lines and little.
Well, the feminists were coming after him, you
Yeah.
see.
But this was
And-
the proper sign that they had their claws in.
But we might cringe at some of the stuff, right, that he did. But that was to keep the feminists off his
Oh, yeah.
back. But if you look
Yeah.
at it, it's not as bad as it ended up being in the Chibnall era. So, I mean, Moffat
Yeah.
has to be given credit for the fact that he did hold off for as long as he could.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
right in it, yeah.
I love that bit. Exterminate me.
I love this set. Like this is one of the actual really lovely sets they did for this episode, and it ties into Time Lord sort of lore a bit. It ties into their history, and that's what I wanted with Gallifrey being shown on screen. But still,
know
we do
we
it for
did the
this.
Scarrow as well under Moffat, and we got to see a couple of rooms as well. But he never really does. He never really went in it. Maybe it's got to do with the budget. You know, maybe he couldn't do the things that he wanted, and the stuff that we got were the best he could do.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. Because I reckon if you had been given a Gallifrey spin-off, you would have jumped at the chance. And he would have made it very dark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like, this is quite dark, this stuff. And you get probably one of the best scenes in a couple of scenes in the whole episode here. With the Doctor and Clara, which I'm not going to lie, when I was watching it again today, it got me teary.
Oh, when you have that little conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dialogue is brilliant.
It got me teary. And I really didn't... I never expected I was going to get teary over this episode, but I did. Because of the dialogue and the performances.
That's what they're looking for.
Bits of this story are boring TARDIS time.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're big chunks. Then you get a bit of either good acting or a bit of good dialogue now and again, and then you go back to boring.
Yeah. It's him.
Yeah, you could tell that as soon as the story was about a little boy, you
Yeah.
were like, yeah, it's the Doctor. And I think what Moffat does do well with some of this dialogue, it shows how quickly the Doctor
Yeah.
and Clara now can read each other, and they can
Yeah.
sort of tell the tics of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, he was tech-tuned back in those days.
TARDIS, don't make me think how this would be if Chibnall bloody co-wrote it. It's bad enough as it is already.
Yeah.
This is their dialogue now coming up.
When she realises.
Yeah.
Because she knows she needs to get it out of him. How many years? How long? And he's doing a Doctor thing. He's deflecting. Yeah, this is the TARDIS. That's the one good scene. Because you're not. This is purely a Doctor and a companion talking.
Yeah.
This is a Doctor and companion sort of going through their baggage.
Yeah.
And you see Clara's heartbreak. And Jenna acts it brilliantly. You see how heartbroken she is that he went through billions of years of torment.
Yeah.
When he could have just told them.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
It's probably a shielder. There we go. Or he made it up.
Yeah, we'll get to that near the end.
Yeah.
But I think also with Clara, it's the realization that he would happily go through that just for one chance to save her.
Yeah.
There's the moment there. Bang.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time. If she says so, I mean, he's so blasé.
Yeah. He's you could tell he's doing that whole, if I don't recognise it, I can put it in a box and not think about it. And Clara's like, you can say what you understand why Clara wants him to recognise it, but you can understand why the Doctor doesn't want to. That's what I mean. This is brilliant character dynamics here.
Yeah. It's a good scene, this one.
And then it works off the scene next when she sees them.
Yeah.
Because that is also brilliant in the fact that you could tell she's angry and she's furious. And she's doing it on behalf of the Doctor.
Yeah. But Clara's so brilliant, she showed the original Doctor which TARDIS to take.
Yeah.
Great
so
scene.
If I forget, if I take my usual I can't stand Clara head off for this, I have to.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good written scene and acting. I think we should have seen more of this protective side of her. We really should have.
Well, she is right about the Time Lords, though. They are hated.
Yeah. And like I said, it's the way she delivers it. It's that steeliness of you are despised, you're hated.
Yeah.
TARDIS, I think some of this was he had a lot of stuff going on, and it feels like a script that's suffering from he had a lot of other distractions.
Yeah, it's just a bit get cut and paste, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he'd set a load of stuff up, but he didn't have the time to proper finish it.
Yeah. Did love his TARDIS though.
Oh yeah, the white one's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I love the franticness of Peter here.
Yeah.
You can see he's like, come on, I can fix this. And you can see Clara slowly realise.
Yeah.
You can't. You're trying, but you can't.
Before the Apple shop as well.
Uh-oh. And this is it.
Yes, TARDIS time I did manage to go to the Doctor experience. And I was happy because when I did go, it was Matt's time in the show. So I got my little Matt scene before I walked in, which I was very, very happy to get.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't making enough money TARDIS time. I think from memory, that's why they shut it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. One in
It was a
Cardiff.
big space.
Yeah. What, the Roflock one? Yeah.
So it would have cost a lot of money to run.
Yeah, they were running out of money.
Yeah, because I think it got opened during Matt's run, didn't it? And then Peter's run started to suffer. So by the time Peter's run had finished, it was gone.
2017, yeah. I know some people that went there near the end of it when it was shutting down, and half the actors and the staff couldn't be bothered anymore. Sadly, but yeah. It was only a temporary structure. It was only a temporary because they're a bit down their Roflock, so. Oh, he goes a bit David Tennant again. 4 knocks.
Yeah, it's always 4 knocks. Oh, and this is another massive infuriating moment when he starts talking to her.
Yeah.
It's like you spent a whole series teasing us about hybrid, teasing us what
Yeah.
it is, and your final episode of the series, and you basically tell us, I don't know,
Yeah. Probably a
be
shield door.
this,
That's probably the
could be
guess.
that.
So with a
It's like,
Dr.
no,
Donna, or
Moffat.
it's a shield door. Yeah.
It's like, no, Moffat, you tell us now, what is the bleeding a hybrid?
Yeah.
I think my guess is a shielder. I think it was
Yeah,
set
it's got to
up
be
to
a
be her,
shielder.
and then he just, for some weird reason, didn't want to answer it in the final,
Yeah.
like the 11th hour. It feels like he was like, no.
I have a very sneaking suspicion that Shielder was supposed to become the companion, and
So he
Clara
didn't
was
want her to
supposed
be
to die.
hybrid.
Yeah.
No, I think there was too much setup with a shielder for me for it not to be her.
Yeah. I don't think Maisie Williams wanted to do Doctor Who for a season, so they had to. And there was that hiatus coming up, wasn't there? Because there was that 1 year hiatus.
Because he wanted the year off because he was doing Sherlock and a load of other stuff,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's it. You should have got someone else to write for a year, just showrun for a year. Co-showrunner.
Or just create like a spin-off. That could have been a gap filler, like a good one, not class.
Yeah. Yeah.
And put it on BBC. I think that people would have happy have watched it if it was good.
Yeah. I just got this feeling that Shielder was supposed to go. He was supposed to take Clara back to the Time Lords and let her die. The Shielder was supposed to go with him for a year, but as I said, because he was doing the Sherlock and other things.
And I said maybe it could have been because of Maisie's availability.
Yeah, she wasn't available anymore. I think it was a bit of a logistical screw up.
And I remember also this dialogue at the time feeling just so airy. And like,
Hardest time, you're a lucky man.
Let's have a look. I never watched it hardest time, so me and you can live in bliss.
Oh, yeah.
Because at that point, I was fed up with the main show, so I wasn't going to watch a spin-off that
Yeah,
looked nothing like
exactly.
Doctor Who. I was like, Sarah Jane, you had me because I was enjoying the show, and it was Sarah Jane. A load of teenagers. I was like, what's this?
Yeah, I know. It's just. Very good. Was a shielder.
I think so, but he just,
Yeah.
for some weird reason, he had to throw those couple of lines to be like, oh, maybe it's the Doctor and Clara, maybe it's this.
Yeah. That's the highborn. What's a Shabujan?
Also, I find it a bit weird that the Doctor got told about the hybrid as a child.
Yeah.
Never got mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Up till this point.
Kempo Rapace never mentioned it. No one ever mentioned it.
I was like, Moffat, did you have
Well,
to
it was
make...
mentioned during the movie. Half human, half Time Lord. So that would be the hybrid.
But the term hybrid wasn't used.
No, but that would be the first interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Well, no, the first interpretation would have been Dalek and Time Lord in Time Lord Society.
Yeah.
That's what they say. That it was already when the prophecies were made, it was talked about as being a Dalek and a Time Lord.
Yeah.
So that's what he would have referred to if he was referring to it back.
Yeah.
But no, not this is Moffat. He had this issue. He would put a bit of dialogue in, and I think not think it through
Yeah.
because he thought it sounded good. And then you
Yeah.
go, but Moffat, if this has been like scaring him and been in the back of his head since he's been a child, which is what you're implying, you needed to have it mentioned somewhere before now.
Yeah.
Even if it was just one tiny bit of dialogue that could have been seen as a throwaway bit of dialogue.
Yeah. I know, it's...
Like, you could have done it when the Dream Lord episode, like, there's so many different enemies, the Doctor could have in passing been like, oh, maybe it's hybrid.
Yeah.
And then not talked about it, and now it bring it up in this season.
Exactly.
Explain that's why he would throw in that term around, because he was scared.
Yeah. It's like they don't beef it up and make it like Gallifreyans are scared of the hybrid. They just this hybrid thing.
Yeah, and it's like that bit in the beginning when he's like, and he says no, stop, because the general's not talking truthfully, and then when he comes out with all the prophecies, so it's not just one prophecy about this thing. There's all of them.
Yeah, there's never a flashback to him as a kid on Gallifrey, and someone talked to him about the hybrid, like the Campo Rapace or the Hermit.
Yeah, that's all you needed. Just one scene.
Yeah.
You could have done it in Listen, for God's sake.
That's it. You could have shoved it into Listen.
He was scared. Look, that would have been perfect. He was a scared boy in that episode.
Yeah, and the reason he was scared was because they just told him about the hybrid.
Could have had him could have had a kid in that bed muttering hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid.
And Clara
hybrid,
comforts him. Like, that's what I mean. Moffat had opportunities.
He just didn't take them. Yeah.
No, he had opportunities in Match Run.
Yeah.
Like I said, Dream Lord episode.
Yeah.
The Dream Lord could have said something to him.
Yeah.
Because that was his own fear.
Yeah.
Being played as himself. So he could have just said, as one of the taunted, he did plenty of it. He could have been like, oh, but what if I'm the hybrid? He could have just said it to him like that.
Yeah. Just started taunting him over the hybrid, you know.
Because sometimes Moffat was good for that. He would plant stuff earlier, like a couple of series before it actually came to being important. He did that with the Silence.
Yeah.
There was seeds of them, and then we actually saw them in Matt's second series.
Yeah. That whole spaceship in the the one with James Corden.
Yeah, but also
that was a silent ship. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the Silence that stopped River in the TARDIS in the Big Bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a proper moment of, oh God, what's powerful enough to control the TARDIS?
Yeah.
That's when you knew there was something coming in the in the horizon that was scary.
Yeah. How about I just return to Gallifrey and go for Shielder instead? I have a feeling this is supposed to be between the general or between the Sisterhood of Khan and the Doctor in the end. It's just got rewritten.
What should have been them instead of
This
Shield
scene,
girl?
yeah.
I can see Sisterhood of
Wiping
Khan
his
maybe
mind.
once upon
Yeah.
a time.
Having to do this to him to wipe his mind because it's just gone too far.
Yeah. Have it be like, yeah, because I sort of get what they're doing here. It's self-punishment again, isn't it? It's the Doctor going, no, I
Yeah.
need to actually have some consequences because of what I did.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like he has the consequences, but then Moffat undoes it in the same episode. I'm not even referring to twice, because it's shown with the dialogue with Clara in the diner. He does remember something.
Yeah.
It's just foggy. He can't recall details, but he knows there's something missing. So he's not really been punished.
Yeah, exactly. Then you find out that about the diner in the desert is actually the TARDIS. So the diner they're hanging around in Matt Smith's episode is actually the TARDIS.
Oh, I never thought of that TARDIS time. Yeah, it is a bit like a knockoff Donna thing, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been so many people that could have been the hybrid.
No, I'm thinking about the TARDIS time's talking about the memory wipe idea.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like a bad version of Donna's storyline.
Yeah.
And also, like, I know you made a comment about this in the past. It's like, of course, Clara would sit there listening to a story about herself and compliment herself and make comments like, "Oh, you must have really liked her then."
Yeah. I think she was watching over them. She landed in the wrong place.
It's not. There's been worse sonic screwdriver designs
Yeah.
this time.
I
sort
quite
of
like the
middling
design. Yeah.
to me.
But it's like, oh, it's design so screwdriver, make it look like the TARDIS kind of thing attitude. That's why I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it's a good sonic screwdriver. The character options version is actually almost identical to the prop.
Yeah, you could tell they designed it with toy in mind.
Yeah,
But
it was
like I said, it's
completely.
not a terrible design, so I'll forgive it a bit.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
it looks like it clamps. Yeah, it looks like it clamps together, and it never did. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's me this time. I think it's all right. Just all right. It's not amazing. It's not terrible.
It looked like it had some special feature like mats, but they never used it. That's my problem with it. In the central section. It's being done on a soundstage. Yeah, you're technically riding around a TARDIS with your executioner.
This was just like, of course, she
Yeah.
gets her own TARDIS, and she's basically a proto-doctor now.
Yeah. Riding around with her executioner.
Yeah.
The stupid one who killed her in the first place, who could have removed it.
Yeah, and he was just quite happily killing people.
Yeah.
Left, right, and centre.
For a little authoritarian village.
Yeah.
Or should I say street?
And I'm sorry, the fact that it's like Clara can just basically the vibe is they give off that she will eventually get to Gallifrey, but she's just gonna do what she wants in the meantime.
Yeah, like the Doctor. I'll go around the long way.
Yeah, just like
Oh, yeah. I like this episode, but it's got problems. So many problems. It feels like Moffat ran out of ideas. It's the same with the Husbands of River Song. I mean, the ending is brilliant, but the rest of the episode is just terrible.
I think he knew this needed to be the end point for the Doctor and Clara. So he probably always had a good rough idea what he was going to do as their sort of end point. So that's why the stuff that works is the one that's nothing to do with Gallifrey. It's nothing to do with the actual plot. It's when he can just give them character moments. Those moments work because I think Moffat, if you look at his era, I think he always planned out his characters when it came to Doctor and Companion. Sort of, they were going to meet here. They were going to reach certain points in their relationships, and then he always had a rough idea what the end point was. There was just obviously but I think you could see that with Amy and Rory. You could see it with Clara. But it's like, so those bits work.
Yeah.
But when
you look at the middle of this Sonic, it looks like it's got some kind of weird feature, but you never see it.
Yeah.
Like Matt's. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
But all those other bits, it's like he's either not got enough time or certain people are forcing his hand to put certain things in.
Yeah.
Or it honestly feels a little bit like he's just buckling under the weight of, God, I have to be the one to do the Gallifrey episode.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be the one to be the first modern version of this iconic planet and people. Which Classic did such a good job of already mapping out and sort of showing those. So he also knew he had to sort of, he was always going to be compared to Classic.
Yeah, I know. It's just a bit of a muckety muck.
Yep.
Right, there we go. We got to the end. Finally. Anyway, yeah.
Look, it's the only good bit of the episode.
I still don't like this story. I'm sorry, but
it's a kids episode.
I think it's the only episode that we watched during the Moffat era where I didn't have where my opinion hasn't changed.
It's really shit till the end.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So-
Sorry, no. So I have to rate 2 of them out of 10, which is not really fair because Heaven Sent is a 10 on its own.
I thought, well, we're not giving like one score as a whole story.
We're giving it as the 2 episodes as one score. So if I was going to give Heaven Sent, no, I was going to give Heaven Sent 10. I would give Hellbent 3. So I'm going to give it a 7, both episodes out of 10. This now, Hellbent, it's dire. It's everything about it. Even, I agree with Charlotte, Rassilon, very weak. What was the point of even having Rassilon in if you were going to treat him like that? The Doctor shooting I still don't get him shooting the general at point blank range. I don't. It goes against his character. Still does. I mean, the dialogue that they have between the two of them is brilliant. And then obviously when Clara finds out how long he's actually, and he could have left any time. That's the only part of this episode I actually like. That's it. And your woman going into the barn to the doctor every time someone appeared outside the barn. But that's it. I still don't like this story. There's so much wrong with it. The whole hybrid thing was never really resolved either. Ashilda, what's the point of bringing her back anyway? But a lot of crap. And actually, you wasted her. In fairness, I have to say, Moffat did waste her. She should have. I think PD said it should have became a companion. Would have been a good companion.
Yeah,
actually. That would have made logical sense. But I just don't like this story. So for that, Heaven Sent's a masterpiece. So 7 out of 10, and the 7 is really mostly for Heaven Sent because I can't give it a 10 because that means I'd be judging the two of them. Judging us. I'm getting confused. 7 out of 10 anyway for the 2 episodes, but Hellbent is shit. Anybody that likes this episode, I don't know where you're coming from. I really don't. I actually don't. Maybe someone in the chat can explain, but this is
I don't think so.
This is dire. This is Moffat at its worst. And remember, this was a season finale. That was a season finale, right? Heaven Sent, brilliant. Right, we understood what the Doctor went through in that, right? But then you come to Hellbent, you're back on Gallifrey, you're expecting a lot more. And we didn't. And as I said, Rassilon just weak at no point. The general, what was the point of siding with the Doctor if you're going to be shot anyway? I mean, a lot of it contradicted itself. I just don't like this story, and I never will, to be honest. I hold this with the same contempt as I hold Chibnall era episodes. I'm being serious. This really annoyed me, and I actually sat and watched it. That's why I wasn't speaking, because I wanted to really give it a chance. And even after that, no, I'm done. I was done at that stage, I thought. And then he follows it up with what the Husbands of River Song and Dr. Mysterio. I was like, nah, forget about it. At that stage, by the time we got to Dr. Mysterio or whatever, which one it was I think it was Dr. Mysterio. I was like, nah,
that was the last special.
He's lost the plot. But then he comes back with Series 10 and then kind of redeems himself. But by that stage, I think a lot of fans as well were like me, just lost interest. So there you go. 2 episodes rated together, 7 out of 10. But if I was to rate them separately, Heaven Sent would get a 10 out of 10, and I would have to say Hellbent would get a 0. In fairness, it would get a 0 out of 10 for me. But I'll hand over to Queen Charlotte, who was making so many good points during the episode. But let's see what her rating is as well.
Yeah, I agree with Heaven Sent. That's a 10 out of 10. There's a reason that episode is talked about as one of the best just episodes in general. It doesn't even have to be like best New Who. It's just best Doctor Who story in the whole of the run, because it does deal with those themes brilliantly. It's a one-hander. It shows off Peter's talent. It shows creativity. It shows mystery in the good sense that it's not just here's a mystery box. It's actually a good mystery. And it also shows, which I think what Moffat was trying to put across, is the cruelty of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
And how far they've fallen. And I think that was brilliantly shown. But oh God, Hellbent. Like, the only positive is the Dr. Clara stuff, because you've got two amazing actors trying. God, they're trying with this material. And like, that's what got me teary. That scene with Clara and the Doctor, because it's her being just shocked, and then she's almost grieving. You get that sense that she's grieving for the Doctor. But he's there, he's not died. But he put himself through pretty much as close to death for 3 billion years or whatever it was. So you can just see she's and then that pain.
Night time.
Then I love the scene afterwards, because that pain, then you can see it becomes anger. It becomes vengeance. And the way she says that line of, everybody in the universe hates you because you're monsters. That's why you're stuck here.
Yeah.
Like, that is some of the best dialogue I think Moffat ever wrote for Doctor Who, because it's true, it cuts to a point, and because of the setup of Heaven Sent, the audience is with Clara. And we've always had that feeling of how corrupted the Time Lords were, but I think Moffat was the one out the two showrunners up to that point who proper showed the corruption and the sort of the damage the Time War had done. Because Time Wars was always seen as this big grand battle, but I think Moffat was the one who really showed, once the dust had settled, the Daleks didn't change, because the Daleks were always going to be these horrible beings that wanted to kill. But once upon a time, the Time Lords were something more. They were something better, but they dragged themselves down in the mud. And then you see that. So all of that context is really good for that one bit of dialogue and scene work between Doctor and Clara. But everything else is just rancid. And I rarely use that word, but it is, because you've got Rassilon being a joke. He's Rassilon. He's seen as this sort of incredibly powerful being that is almost like a god. The way I've always seen Rassilon is the way Time Lords speak about him, especially when you look at him in classic era. And that glimpse we see in David Tennant's run with The End of Time, you get that sense. But here, everybody treats him with contempt at best, or they just ignore him. He's seen as a fool. He puts himself into positions where he's the weaker, and Rassilon would never do that. And I understand, maybe understand's not the right word, it's all so the Doctor looks more powerful. But we've said this before, in modern writing, you should never bring one character down that much to raise another one up. It should never be like that. So
failure of modern writing.
Yeah, it's modern writing, really, how Rassilon's treated here. I think I can understand the Doctor trying to use his people to get Clara back. I can completely understand that, and that would be in character. But to point blank shoot the General, when the General helped him as well, when the General was on his side, is so out of character.
Yeah.
Especially with a gun. And I do think sometimes that whole thing with the Doctor and the guns is sort of simplified. But the act of actually holding it and shooting it at somebody else, that's what the Doctor hates about violence. That's the most typical anti-Doctor thing you could do. And he does it. And there's like no remorse as well. I think maybe the scene, it wouldn't have been better, but you would have been able to sort of digest it a bit better if there was a tiny bit of remorse. But the Doctor doesn't even have remorse. He sort of just checks he's got regenerations left, and that's it. Even when Clara's like, you just shot him. He's like, oh, it doesn't matter, we're on Gallifrey. It's like, no, it doesn't matter if he's got regenerations. You still killed that person, and he's going to come back, but you killed him. And there's just
You wasted a regeneration, yeah.
Yeah, it's still death. I know with a Time Lord that means you're going to get another body, but it's still death. And also, it feels almost like a season 8 or a series 8 Doctor moment. When this Doctor was being shown, he was warming up, he was losing some of that that coldness. But it just comes back in an instant, and it just sort of really blindsides you. Yeah, and like we've all said, this is Gallifrey. We're finally back in Gallifrey. New Who. You should have explored it more. You should have actually shown it off a bit. Some of the culture, okay, if you couldn't show it all off, fair dues. But you could have done something with the High Council. Because that's what also it feels so empty. Like you've got Rassilon who's hardly there, so I don't even count him. And the only other Time Lord of relevance is the General. So there's no council. There's no sort of showing what's left of the power structure. Because I honestly think showing sort of the last dreads of the council clinging on to power would have been interesting. To see the council in that such of a low state, and the Doctor sort of using that to his advantage, that could be interesting. But no, they're hardly mentioned. It's just sort of so fast to get to the story points he wants to get to. And then you've got Clara's not deaf. The fact that he should have killed her off in face, and this is a real cop-out of she is going to eventually die. She's eventually going to go to Gallifrey, but she's just going to muck around in a TARDIS until she decides she wants to actually die.
Yeah.
And like the memory wipe should have been an emotional gut punch, but it's not, because throughout the whole episode, he's telling her this story, so he's remembering something. Something of Clara's sticks in his head. So it's not a punishment, which is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be the consequences. There's no real consequences. It's like we said, Moffat can't kill his characters off. And
Can't kill his babes, yeah.
It was showing itself before this, but this was the first big, oh wow, Moffat, you need to kill your characters off. You did with Amy, why can't you do it with Clara? So, if I was to give it a score as a 2-parter, I'm gonna be harsh, but I'm gonna give it a 5 because Hellbent just does so much damage. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 for the 2 parts.
Fantastic. PD.
Yeah, you also got to remember this is actually a 3-parter, not a 2-parter.
Yeah, but it's sort of
3-parter, yeah. Yeah, I just, it's just got a terrible middle and a bad ending, but it's got some very good ideas in it. That's what kind of annoys me about this one. I like the way the Doctor's really pissed off with his own people, because he is. He hates them. He despises the Gallifreyans. That's why he ran away in the first place. And it's just that bit where he goes and shoots someone. It's like, if he would have turned around and said, how many regenerations he's got left, he goes, how close, and then said, how close are you to a regeneration? And he says, I've probably got a few years left. It shot him. I could understand that. But it's just the way the Doctor goes around and just vainly kills someone to save Clara, who he's just infatuated with. And I just get that feeling watching it again that this episode was supposed to go a completely different way. A totally different episode. But then, because, as Charlotte said, because he wanted to do Sherlock and a few other projects, and Maisie Williams was probably not available, he brought Clara back and then just sent them on their way together, and then just put the Doctor in hiatus for a while. It has some very good ideas, but they're just poorly executed. It was nice to see Time Lord's side again. That's why I've got a soft spot for this episode, because it's going back home. He went the long way round and he got home. But it just feels like a massive anticlimax. And it's just and Rassilon is like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons now. He just seems like Mr. Burns. He's like, oh, because Rassilon's so obsessed to find out what the hybrid is. He's like turned into this kind of weak, kind of simpering old man. He just wants a kind of politician kind of, I want to know, you've got to tell me, kind of thing. And it's like Rassilon was a thug. He was a galactic thug when Timothy Dalton played him. He wouldn't play by the rules. He was a nasty piece of work. He was like, he was like a Russian thug.
I was going to say he was a dictator, wasn't he? He was
like
this old
true dictator.
leader.
Yeah, he was truly powerful. Now it's like Gallifreyan society takes the piss out of him on a daily basis, and he's just turned into this kind of simpering like worm. And when he left the Citadel, he would go by a hologram. He wouldn't leave himself. The Doctor would have to request an audience with him, then they'd kick him out. Then he'd try and kill the Doctor in the throne room or something, and then kick him out. But it's like, what are you doing? This is like a completely aphetical Gallifreyan society. It's like if the Gallifreyans had been suffering just as much as the Doctor had when he was in the confession doll, you'd understand. But it just shows no suffering. It just shows that everything's like tickety-boo on Gallifrey and nothing happened. It's weird. I do love the Sisterhood of Khan being there, though. I do like the head of the Sisterhood of Khan. She was a good character. I'd say, being generous, just for the episode, I'd give it a 6. It's had some very good ideas, but very, very poor execution. Couldn't stand the middle of the episode. And the ending, oh God, don't even start on the ending. But altogether, I'd give them both an 8, but Hellbent, the Hellbent is the weaker episode, and it's a very shame because it's the end of the season.
Yeah, it is a very, very weak episode.
Yeah.
And he had a lot. Actually, his season finales, if you go back and analyse them, they're not actually
Always
great.
a bit weak, aren't they? Always are.
I think Matt's first series probably had the best finale.
Oh, that was a good one.
I'm not going there with you. I disagree. I actually think it's ridiculous. And it just goes to show how far up his own arse he actually was. The Pandorica episode, the two-parter, that one makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
We're not getting into this. We had this debate on stream.
Right, we had this debate the last time, right? But I'm not doing it. But I'm sorry, I disagree. I think
you're kind of right. I think they hit and miss.
I think the two-parter for season 6 is slightly better, but still very bad. His season finales are actually.
I'm just saying that for me, that's the best one out of the bad lot, almost.
Well, I like it because is in Stonehenge, I suppose, and it is an interesting concept. It's just he doesn't know what he's doing because he's not as
season 7. You don't know they got out of his time lesion, or it doesn't exist anymore, and it never tells you. Then suddenly you're on Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
8 was a bit wishy-washy, but kind of made sense.
Yeah, I like his series 10 ending, actually.
Oh, season 10's got the best ending he's done.
Oh, yeah, after Moffat run, I'll give you that. That's the best out of all of his.
It's just Twice Upon a Time's a bit messed up, Yeah,
I agree. Right, anyway, let's do channel shout-outs so I can let everybody go early. That thunderstorm has moved on, but it looks like there's another one on the way because you can see them. It's weird. You know when there's one on the way. 2 cells chasing so hopefully this one now happens when it's a little bit darker so I can actually see the thunder and I can actually see the lightning this time. Yeah, anyway, let's do channel shout-outs and we'll start with Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, so you will catch me on the Spacebook. We had our big sort of celebration of the Jubilee stream last week and Doctor Who sort of history with monarchy a bit and sort of just the fun of let's just having a good old British sort of knees up theme. So if you want to watch that stream, and then we're back on this Thursday. I have no idea what we're talking about, so I can't tell you. It might be some of the more rumours that's floating. It might be to do with shooting, being at the Coronation concert. You'll have to tune in on Thursday night at 8:00. And also, we might be getting a proper trailer this weekend. You might see Yeah, we might actually get a full trailer, PD.
My God, about time.
That the Spacebook might be covering that, so keep your eyes out on the weekend, possibly for coverage of the first trailer with the Spacebook. And me and Dan and a few of us will be talking about it. So catch me there and here whenever Noel wants me.
Fantastic. We'll be here for the chill zone. Don't worry
here
about
for the
that.
chill zone.
Yeah. And then I'll be organising something else. So we'll have a when I organise it, and I'll have a chat with everybody then, because I want to make. Yeah, I'm going to be making some changes. So I'll just I'll explain. So anyway, let's go to PD. Rich, go ahead, PD.
Yeah, you can always find me over here. Sometimes on Dan's channel when like Star Trek or Red Dwarf comes up and he needs extra hand. Or you can find me in Rabbi's channel on the chat as per usual.
Fantastic. And you can catch me here whenever I'm streaming. Simple as that. Just there you go. Just chilled about it. One messing back on Wednesday for the chill zone with me, Queen Charlotte, PD Rich. And then the days that I'm not doing that yet, I'll be filling up. So just bear with me. But Thursday we have the members preview stream, Friday Night Contact, and then on Friday we have the TARDIS on Talks, and we have Friday Night Contact at 9 and stuff. Plenty going on. The football season's ending soon, so everything will be me full attention again for a few weeks. And then the new season starts with pre-season because of the World Cup. Yeah, blame the World Cup. World Cup affect everything up for everyone. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening. We're having all strains of weird weather. It's mad. Told us our UFO last night. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I want to see if it's there again tonight. But I'm convinced there's a UFO in the sky.
Of course.
They're coming for Klaus Schwab.
No, seriously, I'm just seeing strange things happen. There's a lot of military helicopters being flying around lately. So maybe I'm not actually seeing things. But I think there's an invisible spaceship up in the sky.
Could be.
Because military helicopters keep and then they disappear. It's weird.
Yeah. Get Elon to fire a SpaceX rocket. That'll do it.
Because that's what went so well.
SpaceX.
He always got my bag.
Anyway, we're going to leave it there because I need to get out of here and chill and do stuff and, real life stuff and stuff. The stuff that you do, real life stuff. Yeah, I've got to do some real life stuff. Don't like doing real life stuff. I like to live in my own little reality. But unfortunately, real life drags you in, and then you realize, it's a shit storm, and then you just want to go back into your little bubble. Yeah. That's where I am. If it was a UFO, now Teddy finally managed to get his doggy size TARDIS to work. Probably. Yeah, I've been seeing them chemtrail in the sky quite a lot outside as well. There's definitely something going on. I'm not messing, and there's something in the sky that I haven't seen. And as most of you know, I have a telescope, so I look up at the sky quite a lot, and I've seen this bright object in the sky that's just appeared out of nowhere that nobody seems to be talking about, right? Except a few people on the internets, the interweb, right? But interesting, fascinating. Might do a chat on that sometime because I do like talking about alien stuff. Maybe I should have made this an alien channel. Hello, welcome to the Alien Zone. Should have done that. I did something to me computer. Oh, I made a big screen. Oh my God, look at us there on the big screen. We look very impressive. Yay. Now I'm gonna exit full screen. That's weird. I've never put it on full screen before. That's weird. There you go. First time seeing full screen. I'm like a kid in the candy shop. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. I want to thank my guests, as usual. The one and only Queen Charlotte. PD Rich.
No worries.
And we will be back in August to finish off our Series 10 finale. I will put another stream in this place. Just bear with me, where I will have the two guys on, right? So they're not going to go anywhere. They're still going to be here. It's just we're going to be doing something different. Because I'm kind of, I need a break from Doctor Who right now. Got to be honest. It's just I'm a bit Doctor Who'd out all of a sudden. Because I've been kind of watching a lot. I've been watching classic off air as well. So
you need a break sometimes.
Yeah, so I've kind of gotten me fill of Doctor Who right now at the moment. And then I'm working on trailers as well because, the Thing King has been doing up those great audios for us, and I've had to do the trailer, and it's like constantly watching trailers and re-editing them to make sure they pass on YouTube and all of this. So it's been a pain in the ass. So just basically, I've just kind of gotten to the stage where I need to watch something different for a while. But we'll be back in August. We'll finish off Series 10 in a blaze of glory. And then, of course, we've got Twice Upon a Time, which is the last one, isn't it? Which we will do because it does finish off the Peter Capaldi era. And then that's it. Then we're done because I'm not doing.
Oh no! I'm not crossing.
There's no way I'm sitting through that. Because I wouldn't torture even my worst enemy. I wouldn't do that to them.
That was a dire era.
Actually, if Guantanamo Bay, if the Americans want to get information out of someone, just skip them the Series 13, 14. No,
11.
Sorry, Series 11, 12, and 13. Just give them Series 11, 12, and 13. You'll get all the information out of them after Rosa. Trust me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. Good night, folks. Have a good evening. Thanks to Chris and everybody else that keeps the chat safe for everybody and to everybody in the chat that took part and left a comment. We really do appreciate it, and we appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all channels mentioned, including this one. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube has done that thing again every month. They scrub some of these subscribers. Right, I was on 2,220 subscribers. Right, I'm now down to 2,199 subscribers. They've taken away over 20 bleeding subscribers for no reason whatsoever. Right? Listen, you dumb assholes in YouTube. I'm going to tell you one thing. You don't care if this stream gets demonetized, you pricks. Right? Bottom line is this. Right? Some people sign up to YouTube so they can support fellow YouTube content creators. They don't put up content themselves. So stop getting rid of people that are actually doing that and getting rid of the people that we're actually sending reports on, right? Who do be in their chat putting up porn links and all that other crap that they throw up to try telling people they've won competitions, right? Waste your time on that shit. Fix that up, right? Stop messing with their chats as well. Absolutely ridiculous. And sort it out. 21 subs is the biggest amount of subs that I've lost. Not a word of a lie. That's never happened that many, right? And it's absolutely disgraceful. And I guarantee there'll be people that'll be there wondering why they're not subscribed anymore. So please, press the button. Make sure you're still subscribed, folks, right? Because I'm sick of that. Every month, man, I go in and we pass a new milestone. Within a bleeding week of the new month, it's wiped away, right? And it's not bleeding fair. How are you even supposed to get anywhere on this platform if they keep doing that on you? It's bad enough that you have to watch everything that you have to say on here, right? This stream probably was demonetized because I said prick, but I don't give a fuck. Prick, prick, prick. There you go. Demonetized. Prick, prick, prick. Right? There, demonetized that YouTube. Right? Feck you. I'll be on Rumble soon anyway.
Right? That's where everyone's going at the moment.
So you could join me on Rumble.
Dan's on there at the moment as well.
Yeah.
So is Rabbi.
I'll be on Rumble. And I won't be called the TARDIS either. Right? Because it's not anything to do with Doctor Who. Right? It's just me talking. Yeah. So if you want to hear me, because it won't be connected to the TARDIS channel, then you're going to be in for some good streams. So go and watch. So when I put the link up, when I get it all set up, I'll put it in, and you all follow me on Rumble, and I'll let rip on that. I will. Yeah. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna go now before I get permanently banned off them.
Perma banned, yeah.
I won't anyway. You're allowed. Use. It's only prick. I mean, you could be saying prick the needle.
Don't.
Or prick. You know, something else.
Don't say that, prick. Yeah.
Or prick a balloon. You know what I mean? That's what I meant. YouTube prick.
So anyway, too many pricks to be joining John Campbell in the sin bin. Yeah.
There's too many pricks on this stream, so we're gonna go now. Goodbye.
It's getting prickly.
Bye-bye.
Night.
I'll see you all sometime in the near future when I'm 75 and I come back from the future to warn everybody that this was the moment that Noel lost the plot. Anyways, bye.
See ya.